Hello, I'm Michael Chigani, and this is Straight Talk. With me today is Mr. Henry Litton. Now, Mr. Litton, you are a retired judge, the Court of Final Appeal judge. Now, this kind of violence has been going on for 4 months plus now.
I have observations about what's happening. One thing which is, I think, striking is that these are not ordinary criminals, because an ordinary criminal who breaks into premises and destroy property run away from the police. Now, these criminals confront the police, and they court confrontation.
You think they're criminals rather than protesters demanding democracy?
Well, they are committing crimes. You can see it. You know, I mean, is there the least doubt that crimes are being committed when iron bars are wielded and things are broken into and fire bombs and things are thrown at the police, I imagine? I mean, those are criminal acts. Mm-hmm. Now, do you believe in the rule of law?
I do, yes.
Well, then they're criminals. A great number of the so-called protesters are university students,
True.
You know, who have committed their career to education, to civilized learning. Now, I wonder whether those actually are the frontline, gas-masked, iron bar wielding, petrol bomb throwing persons.
Do you think there's somebody behind them?
Well, I think that they are tag-alongs, followers, who are inspired, if you like, and motivated, if you like, by slogans like democracy, freedom, you know, universal suffrage, you know, we want to be free, and so on, and expressing some sort of frustration, I suppose, in the contrast between the liberties and freedoms that we enjoy in Hong Kong.
Could foreign forces instigate so much violence week after week after week?
Well, I can only infer from primary facts.
Yes.
And from the primary facts, it would surprise me if at least those frontline, they call themselves warriors or whatever you like to call them, are not paid. Because how do they sustain this? I mean, if they have to, you know, make a living, you know, day to day and so on, how is it possible that they can sustain this degree of violence and so on? I infer a possibility,
okay,
not only paid, but I suspect, if that were so, heavily paid to enable them to actually go out and risk time and time again. Now, how many of those 3,000 actually are the ones that we saw just then? You know, some of them masked, with protective gear, holding iron bars, and able to kill if they really land in the right place. How many of those actually have been arrested?
If today's students are to justify their role as tomorrow's leaders, a sense of community rooted in the fundamentals of tolerance, respect, and compromise is something they and all of us must possess.
Now, let's start with tolerance, respect, and compromise. These are qualities which I would expect any civilized human being on earth would possess, okay? These are events happening weekly, sometimes daily basis, right? You appoint a commission of inquiry now. Now, how are you going to deal with the ones that is still ongoing? But I think, let me tell you one thing though. Sooner or later, the first death would occur.
You think that'll happen?
Either from the police, because he's been isolated and beaten to death, or some accident happen, a canister can hit
somebody in the face.
Right?
Okay.
Now, then there will be an inquiry. It will be a coronial inquiry.
Okay.
Right? And
it'll be somebody dying, right?
Yeah, and that would be confined to one incident of one death.
What happens as a judge? I've just got a few seconds left. As a judge, you've got 3,000-something people. Can the court system deal with all these? Should they increase their manpower?
Well, of course they have to. Now, and not only those who actually are doing the prosecuting, there'll have to be support staff increase as well. And then, of course, the magistracy and the district court.
So increase the entire staff of the judiciary, the prosecutions,
well,
and so on.
This is not normal business anymore.
Litton.